Ron Kerbs is the CEO of Kidas, which they do something extremely important, and you need to know about it. They are coming to, they're presenting actually at the NAECAD in St. Louis, and he's decided and consented to come on the show early so that we can talk about some data he's got for cyberbullying and predatory behavior online. Hi, Ron.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for being here. So, Kidas you're a tech company. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, we're a tech company and we're supportive of gaming. And we basically created AI tools to protect gamers when they play online. A lot of parents don't consider it. And while gaming is great, it develops a lot of great skills, social skills, motoric skills. It also provides a few risks. So kids talk with strangers. About 60% of the kids use the voice chat feature and talk with people that they haven't met in real life.
And some of them are really mean. Some of them are super mean.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it became part of the culture of gaming to be a little bit toxic. And when you experience it in a young age, you just believe that that's the way it is, and you become toxic yourself. So sometimes even the younger kids, 12, 13, are the meanest when playing those games.
Yeah, and that's sad. But I'm going to just admit it, on Roblox, I've had to send them messages and take the kid off the game a few times. He has gotten messages from who I could tell was an adult by the way that it was worded, that it was not a child asking him about his body parts and stuff like that. So this can be a dangerous place.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we see. So just to give parents overview, there are about 500,000 online predators worldwide targeting kids on those games. Games like Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite, games that many of our kids play. We just ran an analysis of the last 3 months. We protect kids in more than 7 million conversations every month, and we had thousands of alerts. Anything from kids who are asked to share information about body parts, photos. It starts with relatively benign photos. Hey, can you send me a photo of your elbow? That shouldn't be a problem. And then extorting them. Hey, I'm going to tell your parents that you send it unless you send me something else, and so on. And a lot of cases of scams. So kids who are convinced to send their parents' credit card numbers because someone offered them a discount on Robux, which is the currency in Roblox. Hey, I can give you a 50% discount. Just send me your credit card number and you can get cheaper. The same is true for Fortnite and other games. So those are some of the risks that we've been seeing and protecting kids from.
Very dangerous. They'll also rip your kid off and break their heart and say, I'll give you a shizord if you send me your blah, blah, blah. And then they take your stuff and then they log off and you never see them again. So just tell your kids, don't negotiate with terrorists online. Don't do it. All right. So at Kidas, how are you finding these voice communications? How are you finding them and analyzing them?
Yeah, so we work with parents and we work with schools as well. Parents and schools install our software on PCs. We automatically, in the background, connect to more than 3,000 games, all of the big titles, but also smaller games. We analyze the text communication, we analyze the voice communication, we analyze everything that happens within the game. Is it the first time that they're playing together, or maybe they've played together before? What happens within the game? Are they shooting at each other, or are they in the same team? We combine all of this information into our algorithms, our computing, our processing, and we're able to detect 64 types of risks. Anything from online predation, bullying, harassment, and alert the relevant people. So if parents use our software, we alert the parents. If schools use our software, we alert schools as well. And many people don't know it, but esports, basically gaming, is a growing trend among schools in the U.S.
Yeah,
a lot of schools in the U.S. have now esports programs. About 9,000 schools in the U.S. have esports programs nationwide. I'm talking about high schools, and it is estimated that by 2028, 50% of the schools in the U.S. will have esports programs.
We have them
And the
here.
reason is,
Yeah, we
yeah,
have
for
them.
sure.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that I'm coming to the National Association of Esports Coaches and Directors conference next week to talk about it because, St. Louis is pretty big in that space. So that's why you're hosting the conference.
And I want you all to understand that this can lead to suicidal ideation, and a child can think they're in such a bad spot that they're going to get in so much trouble that they take their own lives. We have seen that more than once happen because of what happens online, whether it be the pornography or just the constant bullying. And these are babies. These are kids who are not equipped to deal with people coming at them in a way that they've never been come at before. So I have my grandson set up so he doesn't know if I walk in the room unless he's, playing in the dark because it's hot outside or whatever the case may be. But I will stand behind him and watch what he's doing and listen to what he's saying. And every once in a while, I'll just reach over, unplug the Xbox, and take it and say, in about a week, we'll see if you can make better decisions. So you got to watch what your kids are doing.
Yeah, that's completely true. And you talked a lot about self-harm, and that's not hypothetical. Those are things that we see almost on a weekly basis. We send parents alert about those situations. Basically, in a lot of the cases, things that look trivial to us. Hey, someone stole my password for my gaming account. Yeah, it could be annoying, but like an adult would probably not treat it as a life-changing event. For kids, it could be a life-changing event. Maybe they spend the last 2 or 3 years investing time and skill, in
and
getting
money,
those points and money, getting those points, advancing in the game, and someone just stole it. And they view it as a catastrophe, something that they cannot recover from. And sometimes it has negative consequences in real life as well. And we talked about the self-harm.
Well, do you have kids who are going to come forth and talk about the distress they've gone through? Do you have any testimonials and stuff like that too at what you're going to put forth at this annual convention? Almost said celebration.
Yeah, yes, yeah, for sure. And it is like a conference, a celebration. I don't want to talk only about the negative things, but yeah, we do have testimonials and we do have cases that will be presented. Of course, we're going to with the consent of parents, we anonymize the details. But yeah, we want to share real cases because unless people see the real cases, they don't really believe it. They always think, hey, that's not something that's going to happen to us. We're responsible. It happens to other schools. It happens to other parents. But it happens to 60% of the kids. So the statistics shows that, you're very likely to experience it with your own kids or in your own school.
Right. And it'll also expose your kids to things they're too young to understand, and then it will normalize it for them, and it will change who they are as human beings. That's the part that bothers me probably more than anything, because you'll see a marked change in the way your child speaks to you or in the way that they behave towards others or just in their attitude overall. I mean, that happens with puberty anyway. We just don't need to start at 8 and 9 instead of, when it's supposed to. But through Kidas, this company, they're developing AI-powered text and voice communication tools. They're protecting gamers, and that's your children, from predatory behavior. I, in my mind, can't make it make sense that someone would look at as a child as a sexual object, but we've got a crap ton of creepos out there. We have them in the news almost daily here, even in our small area, but they're everywhere, and they will travel miles and miles and miles to get your child if they think it's something worth it.
Yeah, that's correct. Unfortunately, that's correct, and we've seen cases of people even driving coast to coast instead of driving to meet kids, and so that's a real issue.
Yeah. So I don't know how exactly your software works, but do you get a red flag or something when something pops up, and then what happens? Do you shut down the game? Do you send a warning? Do you text the Parents, what happens?
Yeah, we notify the parents immediately. So parents are getting an email, text message. They also have a dashboard that you can log into, and they get a brief summary of what happened exactly. They also get recommendations written by experts, children psychiatrists and psychologists, on how to deal with the situation. Initially, I think the first reaction is, as you said, hey, you're not playing anymore. I'm going to give you the Xbox back or the PC back in a week. And unfortunately, research shows that that's not the right approach to deal with those situations, especially with the younger kids, and because most of their social network is within those games. So by taking their gaming, you're basically isolating them from their friends, and it sometimes has negative consequences. So that's something that we're trying to avoid. We're trying to encourage parents to talk with their kids, to educate them about what is possible, what should be done, and what shouldn't be done. And so that's why they get those personalized recommendations from our experts on how to deal with those situations. Okay. In some cases, you do have to report it to law enforcement, and then we'll tell you to whom you have to report. Or sometimes you need to block those people in the game or report it within the game, and we'll tell you that as well.
Yeah. I'm still taking his Xbox. I'll hand him a basketball and tell him to go outside for a few hours. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to let him sit there and speak the way that he's speaking or be spoken to that way. I'm just not having it. But do people sign up for your service? I've got about a minute left. How do they get in on what Kidas is doing?
Yeah, for sure. So in order to sign up, you can go directly to our website. It's getkidas, GETKIDAS.com. Or if you're using one of our partners, we're integrating with a lot of antiviruses. Internet service providers, you can get it through there as well.
Okay. I think this is a must-have for every parent who has a child who games who is under the age of 16. I really feel like even 16-year-olds might be at risk, but especially those littles, because they don't understand what's happening to them. And we can't protect them if we're unaware. And I don't know about you, but if I lost my babies, I don't know what I would do, and they're the most precious thing you have, so there is no dollar amount on what it's worth to keep them safe from harm. So do you have different tiers that you can go into, or do you just have one product and that's, across the line?
Yeah, we provide just one product across the line. People can sign up for a monthly membership subscription or for an annual one, for a discount, but we believe that all parents should get this full level of security that we provide. So that's why we provide only one level. So that's what we do. But I don't want to finish with the negative note. I know that a lot of parents are listening. I don't want them to feel, hey, gaming is bad. So many bad things are happening. Gaming could be and should be fun and nice. Also play with your kids together, and that's a nice experience to have together. But as in other things, you have to make sure that you are doing it in the right way.
Yeah, and age-appropriate games would be a good idea. Ron Kerbs, he is CEO of Kidas. Make sure you check him out at Get Kidas online so that you can see if this is something that's right for you. Every single home, I think, that I know of has a gaming system in it. And every one of your children are at risk if you're not doing something to monitor what's happening when you're not watching. Ron, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You too. Have fun at the convention. Bye-bye.